Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division for the Oasis 9-hole cup and Golf Clash the game. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content for free. You can also get the best tournament text guides on the market by becoming a member at patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Especially check out our summer special now for July. Follow the info box on the right hand side for the elevation adjustment for the drive for the second shot, like all the shots, and then also what type of ball and club that I would suggest you to play with. Have in mind that you don't have to follow that, you can find your own way, which is totally up to you, but I always have a plan with my adjustments, so listen closely, be ready with your pen and paper. Much love to you all for watching this guide, I'm so grateful. Can we get 100 thumbs up? That would be absolutely amazing. In the end though, let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we're going to play on the left hand side. I'm using an extra mile. I'm also using a power 1 ball called the Navigator. No spin whatsoever. I want to make sure that I am in max distance of my club with the second bounce clearly over the rough. Once that is done, it's time to adjust. So we do adjust for a maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. And once that is done, we're going to take our shot. The plan is to obviously bounce over the rough and trying to gain a decent amount of distance that will make sure that we're not having to overpower the second shot. Ball bounces on the fairway and you're getting over to the other fairway, getting into a nice distance, and if you are just above the shadow there from the tree, that's actually pretty perfect. Second shot, now you can see that we do play with a sniper level 6. It's not the best of the sniper clubs, so obviously those of you playing with a sniper level 7 or better is going to have an advantage here. Here I would recommend to go with half a bar to 1 bar of backspin to make sure that we don't have to go with overpower once again. 1 bar of side spin to the right and trying to have the ball guideline pointing directly at the hole. Once done with that, we're going to make an adjustment. An adjustment is going to once again be as the drive. Maximum distance of our club with a 10% over adjustment. So we do adjust the numbers that we do need, and then it's time to take our shot. One thing that I would like to add here for hole number 1 is that if you do have some power 2 or power 3 balls to spare, you can use any of those type of balls instead, which will make you have a bit more easier time for the second shot, and you will then can be closer to the green and use a bit more backspin. In the end though, we just stroked the left side of the cup there, and if we are a little bit lucky, we will get that one in the hole the next time. For hole number 2, we are going to use our quarterback for our driver. And the reason we're going to use the quarterback is because it gives us enough distance, but it gives you something that is very, very important, especially with lower level clubs. That is a good accuracy, which means that a great ball to the left or to the right will not have as much effect as it will be having on other clubs that has a lower amount of accuracy. We are in medium distance and we're going to play medium distance with a 10% over adjustment. 3 bars of side spin to the right, 2 bars of top spin. No curl whatsoever, and we're going to get our ball up to a nice distance. The thing that I would like you to have in mind here is that depending on what type of level of sniper you're having is what going to decide if you're gonna use the sniper or not. So if you do have a sniper level 7+ and playing with minimum power 2 ball, you should be playing with a sniper. But if you do have it as I have it here, that I have a sniper level 6, I don't want you to gamble with playing with as low as sniper level 6 or below. And that's obviously a massive disadvantage, because using the big dog here or any other type of club like the Horizon, or we have maybe a Cataclysm or anything like that, we do have a very bad ball guideline. It's very difficult to estimate how we are going to approach this pin. So 3 bars of backspin. I'm also using side spin to the right. Here I would like to be a bit open with the fact that you can use a different type of spin here and still get a decent result, because this shot is definitely not dialed in. 20 percent over adjustment, maximum distance numbers. And here we do have the problem with having a big dog instead of the sniper with a decent ball guideline. That it's very difficult to know the speed. And, you know, by not looking at the ball guidelines. So we come in way too hot, but we still have a safe putt for a birdie. So with higher level clubs in rookie, I would say that we should be having a decent chance for an eagle. But with lower level clubs, I would definitely see this as purely a birdie hole. For hole number 3 in rookie here, from the front tee, we're gonna play with 2 bars of side spin to the left, and here you see I'm using half a bar of top spin. Now, the important part is to have the yellow ring, half of the yellow ring on the fairway, and the rest of it in the rough. And the ball guideline should be pointing approximately 6 green squares to the right of the pin based on the tip of the ball guideline. I know it's difficult, and I would really recommend you to, if you have a Grizzly level 7 plus, Grizzly is what you're gonna play with. Otherwise you will have to play with the one that gives you the best accuracy and the best ball guideline. Then when you play maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment with a power 1 ball, and the power 1 ball is called a quasar. We will hit the rough, the ball will go up and it will fall in the... not in the hole at least. Very close to get it in there. Just minor movement to the left, and we're gonna see ourselves dropping that one. Very good chance making a hole-in-one on hole number 3. For hole number 4, we're going to play a driver that is going to be with 4.5 bar topspin, 2 bars of side spin to the right. The plan here is to get this ball as far down the fairway possible, but have in mind that there is plenty of glitched spots on the other fairway, which going to sometimes make the ball, you know, just take off as it's just, you know, as it's running it the fastest it can. So it doesn't really make sense, and that's the difficult part with this drive here, that sometimes you're gonna get that, sometimes you're not, sometimes you're gonna get a very short short first bounce and not get any roll whatsoever. This is a nice type of distance, and I would here also say the same as I did on hole number 2. If you do play with a sniper level 7 plus, play with a sniper and a power 3 ball. Otherwise you play with the big dog to make sure that you do have the distance to approach the rough bump. The rough bump here is the thing that we do need to have in mind here is that we do need to play with 2 bars of backspin. I only play with 1.5 bar backspin here, and you're gonna notice that we come in too hot. Trying to have the ball guideline to the hole, and obviously if you do play with a sniper, you do have a better ball guideline than I do have on the big dog. Medium distance with a 10% over adjustment. So even though we are close to maximum distance, we play medium distance instead. Have that in mind. And you maybe wonder why. Why is due to that we adjust from a higher point to a lower point, and in this beautiful game called Golf Clash, that means that we are going to lose distance. So therefore we're gonna play medium distance instead of maximum distance. And once, as I said again, unfortunately we come in too hot, and therefore we don't get this ball to drop. It goes in and out of the hole, and that's obviously heartbreaking to see something like that happen. We're gonna use the Guardian, and the reason we're gonna go with the Guardian is because we are going to do a rough bump. So even though you have the Guardian in level 1, you should be focusing on going with the Guardian. It's only if you don't have the Guardian unlocked, you will have to back up and bounce your ball towards the pin instead. Now I'm using all backspin, which is a lot of backspin. You can see here that's basically 7.5 bars of backspin. I would recommend you to play instead with 6.5 bar. So remove 1 bar of backspin from the amount that I'm adding here, and then keep the 1 bar of left spin. Ball guideline pointing towards the hole, and we should be playing this one medium distance with a 10% over adjustment. So minor tweaks to this setup to get it to where we want to. I use maximum distance here in my adjustment, and once again everyone, you see that we would be missing that shot left as we over adjust. We also go short of pin, and that's why remove a bit backspin and make a lesser adjustment. So medium distance plus 10, 6.5 bar backspin, ball guideline to the hole, then you're gonna have a very good chance. For hole number 6, we're going to attempt a double bounce over the final piece of rough. So first, we add spin. 4.5 bar top spin and 1 bar of side spin to the left. If you do have more than 4.5 bar, I would recommend you to use maximum 6 bars. Otherwise, there is a massive risk that you go too long. Now, before we do make our adjustment, we want to make sure that the second bounce is approximately 2 rings from the rough there at the top. And that is because we do need to compensate for an extended ball guideline when we do have tailwind. Because if we do have a tailwind, the ball will then have a longer first bounce than what we do see the ball guideline is estimating. So you can see here that even though we compensate for that, we're still getting pretty close to the rough, but we get it up to the fairway. 10% over adjustment, maximum distance numbers. And here, once again, as I said on hole number 2 and hole number 4, the level of your sniper is deciding if you're going to play with a sniper here or not. So sniper level 7 plus, we play with a sniper, otherwise we play with the big dog. Here I'm using 2 bars of top spin, 1 bar of left spin, and please have in mind that this is an estimation. It's very, very difficult when we're so far away to know how much top spin I need to use. And in this case, we are using a little bit too much with the big dog. And here you can see the beauty with if having a sniper, we have a ball guideline almost all the way towards the pin. And that will obviously help us massively when it comes from trying to get the albatross here. 20% over adjustment for the second shot. And I'm not expecting an albatross here. So if you can just secure the eagle in a nice and safe way, that's gonna be a big plus. Of Guardian play here in this version of Rookie Guide, and we're gonna play this one, as you can see, with 1 bar of left spin. I'm also gonna use 5 bars of backspin. This is a very difficult par 3 where I would truly recommend you to use a club with backspin here, because you will see a lot of your opponents bouncing all over the place here because they are not really thinking about what clubs to use, but we should, because that will help us tremendously. So 5 bars of backspin, 1 bar of left spin is what I'm using in this adjustment here. I'm trying to have the ball guideline pointing directly at the pin. Adjustment, maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and then obviously try to hit perfect. The problem we do have here is that, you know, we will be having a different type of bounce basically wherever we bounce on that freaking fairway. But the conclusion we can take from this shot is that we are obviously short and we are to the right. So the thing that I would like you to do is to play with 4.5 bar backspin, and we need to move our target a bit more left so we have the ball guideline pointing to the left side of the pin. Then we will be close, but I'm not expecting many drops here because this is, in my opinion, one of the tougher and more inconsistent par 3s we have in the whole game. For hole number 8, we're going to use the driver that we do have that gives us the most distance. And here, I'm trying to juggle a little bit back and forth on what type of spin is going to be the best way to use. First and foremost, we need to agree on that we do need left spin. So 3 bars of side spin to the left using a katana ball. Then I do stretch out to where I intend to have the first bounce at, and I adjust from overpowered position, which in this case was 1.9 rings. Then I go with half a ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the left, and we will see this ball getting very nicely to here on the fairway. However though, okay, the problem we do have here now is that we are in a spot where we are in between clubs, okay? So the thing that I would recommend you to do is to add half a bar of topspin with your drive. Otherwise play it exactly the same way, because the thing that happens here now is not what we want to do. You can see that we are definitely in between clubs, and we do need a couple of extra yardage on our drive to be able to play with our short iron all the time. So here I'm using 1 bar of side spin to the right, and I'm trying to use the top spin that I'm having and trying to basically stretch out and then adjust from overpower position. But this is not a good way of adjusting for this rough bump. So we do need to stay away from being in between clubs, which comes once again down to the drive. So add half a bar of topspin on the drive, then you don't have to go with overpower here for the second shot as I have to do. Sure, we're getting it close, but we minimizing the risk, or minimizing the chance massively to get this ball in the hole if we do have to go with overpower or have to push up or in any shape or form for the second shot. 10% over adjustment for the drive, nothing for the second shot. For hole number 9, I would recommend you to play with the big topper. And even if you have the big topper level 1, that would be the recommended one. I'm playing with a power 3 ball as well, using max topspin, 1 bar of side spin to the right. Because the thing that is here, my friends, is that if we don't get over to the fairway on the, the fairway island there to the right, we will not be able to reach the green in 2. So we do really need to push it to get there, because worst case scenario, we go into the rough or into the sand, then we just have to lay up on the fairway and we will still reach the green in 3. So max topspin, born right spin, we're gonna go with as much curl to the right possible, and the plan is to clip the rough with the second bounce and roll out on the fairway. And the top, or like the second bounce, when you have added spin, is going to show that it's going to be just above the bunker part. And study the drive, because it is a very technical one. If you can play with a Kingmaker side spin 3 ball, that would be very, very recommended, because Titan only has side spin 2. Now the second shot, I decide to play with the Guardian, and the reason I do decide to play with the Guardian is for its backspin. Because as you can see here, when we're having the ball to bounce on that fairway, we will see the bounce be pretty high up. And if we do play with a sniper, especially lower levels, we don't really have the backspin, and we're also not really having the distance when it comes to it either. So I'm using half a ball of curl left. I'm using as much backspin possible with the Guardian, combined with 2 bars of side spin to the left. And then we're gonna bounce, and it's gonna bounce, and then it's gonna get down towards the pin, and we're gonna have a tap-in putt for an eagle. Here, with the clubs that we're having, I do not see an albatross really being realistic, especially when we don't really have that much time to dial it in. So take the eagle, be happy with that, and see your opponent struggle, because that will be the case, because many players will be making a birdie only on this tough par 5. This playthrough for Rookie Division with the tournament win for the Oasis 9-hole cup. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And make sure to join our Discord. Link to Discord is directly in the description down below. You can also get in contact with us by sending an email to support@golfclashtommy.com, and we will help you out with whatever question you might have. Much love to you all, and a massive good luck in the Oasis 9-hole cup.